Hello, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome back to a special episode, another emergency pod for the Believe in Iowa State podcast. I'm your host Tyler Carter.
And I'm your host, Cody Vanciola.
Cody, we held the line for about a good 5 hours, but unfortunately, we saw the news that Matt Campbell is gone, and we saw that it is going to be an 8-year deal. Uh, and he is going to be going to Happy Valley to coach for Penn State.
Yeah, this was very drawn out. This was probably like one of the longest days for in all of Iowa State like history, just in general as a fan. This was definitely one of the longest days because obviously at lunchtime you heard the rumors about him potentially leaving. Everybody goes crazy. There was some hope for a second that maybe he'd stay, but then after hearing about the team meeting, where Chris Williams tweeted out, it kind of felt like the writing was on the wall. So Penn State, after 50 plus days of a coaching search after firing James Franklin, they land miraculously on Matt Campbell. It was crazy to think that one singular slip against Oregon caused the domino effect that somehow ended with Matt Campbell going to Happy Valley.
Freaking Oregon. Freaking Oregon, I tell you.
This has to be some sort of like crazy like a get back from 5 years ago when Campbell beat Oregon in the Fiesta Bowl. I'm just putting on my conspiracy theory hat, but yeah.
Yeah, it's this, and then another thing. Maybe this was part of the Dublin curse. Maybe this was part of the Dublin curse.
Yep.
Is we won the game, but we ended up losing our head coach. Oh
Yeah,
boy,
I
that
not no
game is
well.
cursed. I never want to play in Ireland ever
Well, I mean,
again.
technically, both teams lost their. I mean, both teams have new coaches now. Obviously,
Okay.
Chris Kleiman retired, and you bring Colin Klein for K State, and then, now we'll get to who Iowa State brought in. But yeah, I guess with like officially the end of the Matt Campbell era. I mean, obviously, this has a lot of fans divided on whether like on where they stand with Matt Campbell. But where do you stand with Campbell? Like after this like announcement, given all like everything.
Uh, man, I'm not gonna lie, bro. This sucks. This sucks. Um, I like he's obviously the best coach that we have ever had. We saw history under him. He made Iowa State a respectable program. Obviously, the talent and development here is absolutely amazing. And now he's got the program to a point to where we've see a lot of Cyclones on Sundays now, so a lot of people can like happily watch the NFL. Even though I watched the NFL before, I really made it like proud to be like a Cyclone. But like, it also just I'm not gonna lie, it sucks. It sort of sucks just the way it all happened. Like we just had National Signing Day a few days
Yeah.
ago, and you bring in a top class, and then you like just go up and leave. But I don't know if it's because of the athletic director and all that. Because if you look at his package the NIL package and stuff that he's going to get at Penn State, there was no way that we were going to compete with that. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I actually will show you. I have it and I have it on my page. I quote tweeted it,
Oh
but
yeah.
the numbers that he's going to get at Penn State is absolutely insane, dude.
Yeah.
Like I
Uh,
hold on, let me see if I can find it because
you
I'm
know,
like, oh, there ain't now. It looks, bro. I was like, nah, there ain't no way.
it's yeah. No, I see it. Yeah, dude. Okay, but I mean, me personally, like my generation, obviously, our biggest like our most known time being an Iowa State fan is obviously the Campbell era. So it just this one kind of it in a way it felt like a stab in the back because we thought like we knew Campbell's character and like we had been like yearly like he had been tested yearly and we
Yes.
trusted Campbell. So and there is a lot of anger and frustration with Campbell and I get that. I understand it. I mean, if I was in a certain state of mind, like if I had that mentality, I would get it. Yeah, this sucks. A guy you had put your trust in for the past 10 years leaves you. That's unfortunate, but I think this is just this is just a symptom of a bigger problem in college football.
Yeah, I think this
And
is more of a problem of college football and where it's heading. But as you, this was reported by Matt Fortuna, who is a part of the Inside Zone from the Independent, which is a part of the Athletic. But yeah, he says Penn State is committing roughly 30 million in NIL money and 17 million in staff pool, assistant coaches, support staff, etc. to Matt Campbell, which means I feel like everybody is going, and we already saw a domino effect
Quinn Taylor,
leaving like
yeah.
Quentin Taylor. Yeah.
So I mean, here's and then, I mean, it's not going to be players, but how many coaches do you think Campbell's going to bring? Like, I think a lot of people were talking about Taylor Mauser being the next guy, but with Jimmy Rogers coming in, I feel like Taylor Mauser is going to go with Matt Campbell to Happy Valley. I have a feeling that that's how it's going to go.
Oh yeah, no I think no Matt Campbell him and Mauser are like inseparable. So as much as I wanted to keep Mauser and I had hoped that that they were gonna promote from within because that's what they usually do. Yeah, I think we're gonna see just a revamp of this entire staff. This is gonna be like gutted from like the ground up, bro. I don't think we're
Yeah.
gonna see any. I think this we're gonna see a whole brand new team, which is gonna be exciting for us because this is gonna be a lot of content for us this off season to dig
Mm-hmm.
through and talk about.
Yeah, I mean, while like before, like I think for me, I want to ask this question. Like now, like this era, you could officially like put a bow to the Campbell era, at Iowa State. What was like
Yeah.
your favorite moment of it? Like what was your favorite moment of it?
Whew, man, I have a few good moments actually. I think obviously, my first one is probably the Oklahoma game, of course. The Oklahoma game will always be near and dear to my heart because like that game after especially after everything that happened, we changed to the 3-3-5. We went like Jacob Park was kicked off the team. Kyle Kemp started, jumped in. We were like, what was it, a 31.5 point underdog in
Yeah,
Norman, and we ended up winning that game 38-31. A game winning touchdown catch from Alan Lazard. Then 3 weeks later, we go and ISU proved themselves on national television, beat TCU 14-7. Obviously, and then we ended up with a Libertyville victory, finishing that 8-5. And of course, we know the next year a slow start, 1-3 start, and a guy named Brock Purdy came into the fold. I will always remember his first start.
buddy, come
I
on.
will always remember Brock Purdy's first start. Uh, I think it will live. It will live in history because you had this young freshman. Uh, yes, yeah.
And look what that turned out to be. Imagine just some kid starts in a random like area like game in Oklahoma State, and what does he do a few years later?
He goes and becomes Mr. Irrelevant in the draft. So yeah, it's the Brock Purdy game, obviously the West Virginia game, and the West Virginia game. That the West Virginia game was so historic, so for so many reasons. It was the debut of the black jerseys, the debut of the Juicy Wiggle, and
Dude,
we destroyed West Virginia in that game.
David Montgomery could not be stopped on that night. That man was on a mission, and I think that was the realization. Like, okay, we are legit. We can actually play ball now. So yeah, but did you have any more?
Yeah, the 2020 game and COVID. I know a lot of people are gonna write that off, but that 45-0 win over K State at home was awesome. The 2020 Fiesta Bowl win, and then obviously last year the finally winning 10 games and running onto the field, beating Iowa, and then obviously the top moment of this year was going over to Dublin and beating K State. So I think those are
Yeah.
my top moments of Matt Campbell, of the Matt Campbell
Mm-hmm.
era.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, it would like I would honestly like 2017 was a great foundation, but I think I really was really believing in 2018. Obviously, with Brock Purdy,
Hmm.
so that was like one of the first like well I mean 2017 TCU was probably like the first actual. I'm like, okay, that Oklahoma game wasn't a fluke. We are legitimate. Like we can play with these guys. And then 2018 was
Oh
like, yeah,
yeah.
those black jerseys were beautiful. I think it was in the same year. I believe was that 2018 the same year where we played Baylor, and then you had the famous smack at the jack, David Montgomery. Ah, dude, that
Yeah.
was fun to watch. That was hilarious to watch because even after because I love David Montgomery forever for that because he was a guy he was ready for the smoke, and it was going against a line
Yeah.
medley.
And unfortunately, I feel like if David Montgomery would have played in the first half of the Texas game, we
Mm-hmm.
probably would have been in the Big 12 title that year. Because
Oh,
remember, if we would have won that game against Texas the next week, we probably could have made it and played in the Big 12 title game.
hmm.
But
And who would we have played in that case? Oklahoma,
yeah, wait, yes,
because
yeah,
that was
because it was Oklahoma versus Texas.
yeah, because that was the wait, was that Kyler Murray, Oklahoma?
Yes, it was Kyler Murray, Oklahoma.
Okay, okay. Baker was what the year before.
Picker was the year before in 2017. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would have been Brock Purdy. That would have been kind of interesting to watch Brock Purdy versus Kyler Murray. Can't yeah.
Oh, how could I forget about the K State game in 2018?
Oh,
That comeback. Oh my
Mike Rose,
God.
baby, Mike Rose. I
We
remember that now
slayed the
too.
vampire in that game. Yeah.
We
Oh, how
get
could I forget about
yeah,
that?
I know. That's where I made the like. We keep talking about it. I was like, yeah, that's how Matt Campbell gave Chris. Or no, not Chris Kleiman. That's but he gave Bill Snyder a nice Thanksgiving gift with a fat L next to his turkey on the way out.
Yep. So,
So yeah, and then after that, 2019 was a bit of a blur. 2020, obviously, I think, yeah, the Fiesta Bowl and whatnot. Beating Texas in Austin, that was pretty cool. Brees
yeah,
Hall,
to make it to clinch the Big 12 title game.
yep. And then, yeah, go over a couple years. The Jack Trice Legacy game was a bit hilarious because obviously that's where I debuted George Simp Matt Campbell, and that's how I built my Twitter pretty much for the past like
How
year.
you bitch?
Or,
Yeah, your literal origin story became because of the Matt Campbell era.
yeah, so that's kind of hilarious, and like that's been fun to do. But then 24, that was like the real year. Like it is like that was the most beautiful thing. I mean, yeah, beating Iowa, watching that. Like I was at a volleyball game, and we got to watch Kyle Camarda kick the 54-yarder, and everybody in the arena was cheering like crazy. So I was like, oh my god, we can beat him! Holy cow, we actually can do it again. We do it more often. And I mean, it was just the fact that we came back down 13-0, or at some point we were down like two possessions, I believe, heading into halftime.
Mm-hmm. We're down 13-0.
Yeah, and yeah, you had Jalen Knoll and Jaden Higgins. Just those touchdowns were a thing of beauty in different ways. Higgins snatching the ball out of TJ Hall's hand, and then you just see Jalen Knoll just smoke by Xavier Wonkpa. That was a thing of beauty. And then Kyle's kick obviously was amazing. So that was like okay, and then I'd say UCF at night. That was one of the craziest
Oh
atmospheres I had ever been in.
man,
Like I think we could basically say the whole 2024 season that was probably the like obviously the best season, no doubt about it. When it comes to Iowa State, I know some people make a case for 2020, but I'd say 2024 because you have no
2024 was
asterisks
the best
about it.
season ever.
Yeah, you have no asterisks about it. And then yeah, just getting the rush to field against Kansas State to get for our first 10-win season,
That was
and
awesome. Yeah.
yeah, and I've told you like many times, managed to casually get a photo with Mila Momcilovic and Cade Kelderman, and I wasn't even the one that seeked it out. They found me. They knew me from my Twitter. That's the funny part too.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do now? Are you just gonna obviously now you gotta sort of retire that persona now that he's gone?
Yeah, I think it is. I think that's I can be okay with retiring it because that was definitely a fun era. And I mean, I'm graduating too, so yeah, I'll retire it. But I mean, who knows? Maybe I can. Oh my god, our new coach, like you know about the Jimmy Rogers band?
No.
Oh my god, wait, hold on. I gotta make sure that that is correct before I. So let's see. Wait, Jimmy Rogers band. Hold on. Oh, never mind. Oh, wait. So there's another Jimmy Rogers. That's legendary Chicago Blues guitarist.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's a different one. But I thought there was a Jimmy Rogers band. But anyways, yeah, I think who knows? Maybe ad- maybe somebody will adopt being the Jimmy Rogers person here because I mean you had our boy ISU Coach Burner. He was kind of my inspiration, so I always gave him like I got to give him just the inspiration for even bring up the idea. Oh, okay, maybe I can dress up as a coach, just unironically.
yep.
And then
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, but I think right now I'm a volleyball burner because real quick, shout out to our volleyball team. They had their first round matchup today against St. Thomas. It went to 5 sets, which I was not expecting, but they gutted out a win against the Tommies, which was basically like a home game for the St. Thomas Tommies. Yeah, so I mean, I think if there was some good news like out of all athletics, even with the departure of Matt Campbell, yeah, you have that, but I mean, overall, Matt Campbell has definitely brought like new standards because, like, remember, I think one of the first things he said about this is like we were not gonna like care like the bullshit program and not gonna be like you said about 6-6. I think he's done exactly that. So getting Iowa State to a respectable level of competition was kind of one of the things that he wanted to do, and I think he's done that honestly. And
Yeah,
yeah, and I think we are. I mean, what's crazy is like now like so I mean obviously his departure and then what was it like 20 minutes later Pete Thamel reported our new head coach.
yeah. His name is Jimmy Rogers. He coached at South Dakota State and at Oh, there you go. There we go. Jimmy Rogers. He just got hired. Like you said, Cody. 20 minutes right after the Campbell news. Jimmy Rogers is a former player that played at South Dakota State, I believe, from 2007 to 2011. He also won the 2023 national championship at South Dakota State. And if you are realizing that the 2023 South Dakota State team had current Iowa quarterback Mark Gronowski. I'm sorry, Cody had to do something, so we are going to um, give you more info, show you more information about Jimmy Rogers. Uh, more from the I'll say from the Washington State page. He was current coach at Washington State, and he coached them to a 6-6 record in his first year as an FBS head coach. So I'm gonna share my screen. So bear with me. All right, here it is. Okay, so after spending 12 years at South Dakota State, he got at South Dakota State to a 27-3 record. Led uh, South Dakota State to a 2023 FCS National Championship. Uh, Also, during the season, 9 players earned a total of 27 All American honors, led by Gus Miller. And through that, the 2023 season and the 2024, he had Jackrabbits had a 29-game winning streak, which was third in FCS history. He also has um, probably in the 2022 season, he was the D coordinator that allowed only 88 yards per game and also led with 18 interceptions. So we are getting Jimmy Rogers is definitely a defensive minded head coach. So I'd say I'm pretty. I definitely have to give it some time. Obviously, we're just going to be seconding out with a whole new coaching staff. I was honestly just surprised how quick everything came to be. So I was surprised. It just came up really really quick. But I just think with with that um, we'll see how we really will see how it goes. To be honest, I don't really know how to feel about it, but we will see, and we will survive. But in the further news, we also found out that Taylor Mauser is going to be coaching in the bowl game. So he's going to be leading the team into whatever bowl game we figure, which we'll find out on Sunday. Um, I guess sources have been saying that it's going to be the Rate Bowl in Arizona. So we don't know who is going to be retained from the staff and who's going to go with Campbell uh, to Happy Valley, but with the numbers that we just showed, I think in the segment of when Campbell was going to Happy Valley with $17 million for staff and support, it's pretty clear to see that probably everybody on the staff is going to be gone, and it seems like there's going to be we're going to see a whole new team come August next year, and we will be sure to have all this off season is going to be very very interesting. We and along the way we will have all these updates for you. So make sure that you guys tune into the Believe in Iowa State podcast. And another question, really, that we could be asked is who do we think that can be retained? Um, I'm thinking because that Jimmy Rogers is more of a defensive minded head coach, I could probably see Jimmy Rogers retaining some of the defensive staff. I don't think that there's any way that Taylor Mauser is saying. I think he's going with Campbell and basically and I think Haycock is also going with Matt Campbell too. So all of his main guys that have been there since day one, I think he's taking all of them. So it's going to be interesting to see what the coaching hires are going to be like. We'll probably find that out probably after the bowl game or probably within the next week or so. So hang in there with us. And we thank you guys for tuning in on this unfortunately very, very somber episode of the Believe in Iowa State podcast. Cyclone Nation, keep your heads up. We have a top 10 game at Mackey Arena tomorrow. Make sure to cheer on the basketball team against Purdue at Mackey Arena. Hopefully, the Cyclones can come out with a win or at least play them close. So, I am signing off for Tyler Carter. This is the Believe in Iowa State podcast. Roll clones, baby.